Hello, it's a cold, late November morning on the Heart of Ohio Trail. And I thought my morning walk was a good time to share a holiday message to the trail community. And I'm a person who tells stories, perhaps too many. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to share a story that is very important to my life and direction of life. 19 years ago, I awoke from a week long drug induced coma in cardiac intensive care. 11 days earlier, I had suffered a heart attack, underwent cardiac triple bypass surgery, and 2 additional surgeries to correct things. A few days after awakening, I returned home, and at that point, I realized the gravity of the situation. I was a broken person. As I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time in 17 days to take a shower, I was scarred, bruised, and stitches told the story of the past 17 days. I knew I had to change my life, and I did commit to do that. I sought out ways to exercise. I need to take you back. I was 300 pounds, a sedentary person who did nothing other than watch TV. And I started frequenting the gym and doing walks, but nothing really made me that happy until a friend of mine asked me to go on a bike ride on a trail. Uh, it's something I was vaguely aware of, but it was a beautiful July day. I took my bike down, a very dusty 1980 Sears mountain bike, loaded it on the car, and went to the Ohio to Erie Canal towpath trail. And I cycled 8 miles. I, I found something there that had been missing. I found a place that I loved being in. I found a form of exercise that I thought really spoke to me. I have to think back that when I was young and lived in the country, that's all we did was bike. And so I began cycling. I was on a weight loss journey as part of my cycling effort, and several of my friends in that community joined me. We actually then formed a meetup group, which became large and is still large even as I have moved away. In that recovery, I call it a recovery, I made a very good friend, and he had informed me that he wanted to cycle the Great Allegheny Passage and C&O Canal Trail. Now that was 334 miles over a week, and we were going to do it self-supported. And I was a person who cycled 20 or 30 miles. I first declined. I gave thought to that, and I thought, I've changed my life. I need another transformative moment. So we did that. To say it was transformative is an understatement. I learned a lot. I experienced a lot. I saw a lot. With every mile, with every person I met, I knew that would be my passion. And it was my passion starting in 2011. Every year since then, I have toured on a bike. I have toured the Great Ohio Bicycle Adventure, many trails, and I almost always return to the Great Allegheny Passage and or C&O for a week. In 2016, the Ohio to Erie Trail was sponsoring a week-long tour across the state. It very much intrigued me. I wanted to see the state from a different perspective. Again, it was 326 miles. I signed up, and again, another transformation occurred to me. I loved it. 2 years later, I would return with a group of friends I met on that first tour and did it again. At that point, I was asked to join the board of directors. Now, I am a consummate volunteer, and I choose the boards that I participate in carefully. And I realized that this truly was something that I wanted to do. I became active. Within a year or so, I became the lead of the marketing team. And in 2022, I was elected president of the board of directors. The trail and all trails, to me, are transformative places. A place where people can seek a place. And that place isn't defined by age, by sex, by cycling ability, whether you hike, bike, or whatever, or just a place to enjoy the outdoors. Uh, Over the past years, I've spent a good bit of time in bicycle and active transportation advocacy. And I met a person in a training who said something that resonates with me today, that if you get on a bike, you are a cyclist. It is that simple. If you hike, you're a hiker. If you run, you're a runner. And that's the philosophy that I live by. And in terms of the trail, as I venture down that path with the Erie Trail, I realize that there's more to that. The trail is what I call an ecosystem. And what that means is that every one of those people, whether they cycle, hike, run, or just escape the outdoors, they're part of that ecosystem and they contribute. There was no test they had to do, no education. They just got out there and done it. But one thing that trails have evolved in over the years is communities and businesses along the trail are also the trail. I like to say that if you are on the trail, you are the trail. And they have responded. In Ohio, we're very lucky. We have seen tourism and economic growth develop around the trail, and that's good. But at the same time, I go back to my initial transformation and why I came to the trail. Why I came to the Erie Trail is that this is a place that transforms people, places, communities with no limitations. So my holiday greeting for you is to go out there and enjoy the trail and think about what value it brings to you and those you love. At this time, it's also a time of gratitude. So it also like you to think about how can you give back to the trails. Most of the trails on the Erie Trail and many trails across the United States are volunteer board driven. They look for people to work on the board. They look for people to help maintain trails. That is a very important way to give to the community. Of course, there's the monetary giving, and this is the time for monetary giving. We all know that by what we receive in the mailbox. So, if the Erie Trail has made a transformation in your life as much as it did for me, then I ask you to give to the trail. But that's not the only place you should give. I ask you to give to the local trail that speaks to you, that is your respite into nature and that motivates you. So I'll close with this. Know that if you are a cyclist, if you are on a bike, you are a cyclist. If you run, you are a runner. If you hike, you're a hiker. And if you are on the trail, you are the trail. Happy holidays. And I look forward to the coming year and seeing you in the coming year on the trail. Goodbye.